It's time for a City Channel Dubuque featurette.
Hi, my name's Tim Hawley. I'm from Rockford, Illinois. This leaf sculpture I made, it's a leaf skeleton, and it's made out of stainless steel that I cut on a water jet. Then I take it and I use roofing torches to manipulate the steel. And then once the steel's manipulated, it changes colors, so I have to go back in and I grind it to make it really shiny and metallic-y. I think if you use nature with your artwork, I think it just kind of makes it more timeless and natural. And I think it's just pleasing to people because they get more of a different feeling from it because it's kind of comes from nature, I guess.
My name is Stephanie Saylor, and I made the sculpture Awakening. And what the piece is about is it's based off after a lot of natural forms. I love seed pods and how something so small that once they're given a little bit of water, a little bit of life, they blossom into something so much bigger than themselves. And then as people, we tend to not notice these moments very much. You know, the seeds are just sitting in the ground, unnoticeable by everyone. So I love to take that moment and that little piece of beauty and make it into something bigger that we can all look at.
Hello, my name is Michael Collins. I'm from Champaign, Illinois. My piece is titled Watercraft. It's a piece about kind of taking an unconventional journey. A few years ago, me and some friends, we were taking a kayak trip on the river, and we found this picnic table that was kind of floating in this log jam, and we took it out. And we ended up riding this thing down the river, and that was kind of like the inspiration for this piece. I hope people use it. I hope people, sit on it and enjoy it, and kind of think of themselves kind of just taking off. And I really like the way it kind of activates the space, and you imagine it, almost like a rocket ship, kind of just taking off.
My name's Ashley Kyber. I'm a landscape architect and environmental sculptor. I teach at West Virginia University, and my piece is called Points of Light. And it's a series of work over a larger heading called Rituals, Rites, and Reclamation. I really like to work around environmental issues, particularly related to water. Wherever they occur, they have different shapes, and they also take on the context of where they are. So in Dubuque, the form takes on more of a boat-like shape, and then thinking about the indigenous people that were here first in the skinned canoes, and then how do I take something that can represent that, but also be ambiguous enough to take on a lot of different interpretations. So I was quite pleased when I put it up this morning and there was a great blue heron on the shore because it looked exactly like the profile and the beak in the silhouette. It's an individual piece. Sometimes I have them in collectives, but this is you as an individual, and how are you also a point of light? This, if the sunlight comes behind it, it glows with the sunlight, and how do you do that? So it's to really think about more inside in the relationship than more out.
Yeah, I'm Karl Lipscomb. I live in Joplin, Missouri now. I'm originally from Springfield, Missouri, and been doing outdoor public sculpture for about 10, 15 years. My piece is conventional apparatus. It's a wooden piece, primarily wood with some hardware. If I use new hardware, I distress it first. I patina it, I rust it, because I want my pieces to feel like they've got some age to them. I made the original out of pine, which is cheaper material. Made as many mistakes on that as I could first before I went to the oak, which is more expensive. And I want people to touch my sculpture. The wood itself is better off because it is touched. It has this wonderful feel to it. It's not like furniture, but it's got a smoothness that's tactile, that's wonderful to touch.
I'm Greg Granlund. I'm the son of the artist Paul Granlund, who created Continuum, I'm amazed to say, 40 years ago. And I rode down with it on the barge with him when it was delivered. So I'm very pleased to have had a chance to come back to Dubuque again.
Continuum was commissioned back in 1973. And the artist Paul T. Granlund was sort of known at the time and was becoming more known for actually more figurative bronze works.
One of Paul's really great pleasures of this particular piece was the connections it made from one river town to another river town, and another river town, and yet another river town on its way down here.
When I asked for it to be the first of many features, it was because I wanted to start something new of getting large-scale installations for Art on the River, because, you know, we're moving into the second decade of Art on the River, and people really loved seeing the other sculptures.
It's in a way, it's untypical for his work in that it does not include figurative pieces, but the core element of it, the boxes and the triangular prisms that stick out of them, became a common element of many of his pieces from this point forward. It's really interesting because it's a box that's not just like with the top sliced off and opened with a hinge. It's a box where each of the sides is cut by a diagonal, and the whole box opens and rotates, making a square become the triangle as it comes out.
What's good about it now is that it connects the generations, the people that were here when it first arrived back in the 70s, and who loved it, who hated it, who didn't know how they felt about it, who said, that's not art, that's, like someone literally said it looks like an air conditioning duct. And so, I mean, now when I read those things, I just think it's interesting and I think it's funny, but I think it's great. People have a right to have opinion about the art that's in the community, and they have a right to voice that. But it's also meant to be there to allow everyone to have the opportunity to have their feeling, opinion, connection with it.
Featurettes are short films set in and about Dubuque that air at various times throughout the day on your local government channel, City Channel Dubuque.